Hello and welcome to day 117 of Dungeon 23, the series where we make a room of a mega dungeon every day for a year. Now today is going to be a bit more complex, a lot more things going on. The first thing I want to talk about is how I'm connecting these guys. So this is how these rooms are going to be connected with this little tunnel here. And I'm just going to do that all around the outside, and by then we should have all of the stuff filled in. The second thing is that there is going to be a cave-in right here. Now, if the party wants to spend time moving all this stuff, they can, but I don't want to have, like, a bunch of rules set up for how much they can move in a day or an hour or however long. You just want to feel out what they're capable of and what they're doing, you know? The other thing is that this door down here has a DC 16 lock. It is just a regular door, same HP and AC as all the other doors that are wooden, although it is locked for 16. Now, the actual contents of the room are a bit special. So these 4 berry bushes, each bush has 1 ration's worth of berries in it, just non-magical regular berries, or 2 if harvested with a DC 13 survival check. So if you're really good at survival, you could get some extra rations. And that's there, well, 1, to feed the party, but also to kind of act as bait for the monster in this room, which is a cave fisher. These guys are pretty nasty. They are CR3, but they do have a clever weakness, and there's an GMF overlay because they have spider climb and they climb up on the roof, so this guy obviously is going to be on the ceiling. 58 HP, pretty tough. 16 AC, pretty tough too. I did nerf him in a few ways. First of all, he has a multi-attack with like his claws. It's a 2d6 slashing damage plus 5 to hit. And it normally has multi-attack. I put the multi-attack on a recharge. He can make 2 attacks, but the next turn he has to roll again to make 2 attacks, otherwise he just makes 1. Or he has to use his filament ability, where basically he shoots out this sticky filament, and if a creature touches it, they get stuck in it, and they can reel it in and attack them. And that's just how that works normally. Now, other than his limited attacking, which is cut down, a thing that was really cool that I didn't know was that cave fishers have flammable blood. So if the cave fisher is below half health, then it gains vulnerability to fire damage. So yeah, kill it with fire. It didn't really change much else about him, really, just the attacks. I was contemplating giving him less HP or less AC, but I wanted to be pretty challenging, because he's kind of cordoned off here. He's not going to go searching for the party. He's going to be hitting here, waiting for them to come to him. And he does have some good loot. So what we have here is what he has, obviously. The cave fisher has multi-attack. It's on a recharge. Now, what it's actually carrying on is it has this leather pack strapped to its back. It contains a fancy blanket worth 10 gold pieces, a water skin that is half full of water, which I imagine like it could probably be smart enough to try putting itself out. I don't know. Probably not. A busted silver pocket watch worth 100 gold pieces with a 25, which is really high, a 25 DC to repair it with Tinker's Tools. And I imagine once it's repaired, it's probably worth like 10 times as much. And also a potion of healing, but because it's like on the ceiling for the most part, if it falls off the ceiling, whether it gets knocked prone or they kill it and it lets go and it falls out of the ceiling, because it does have spider climb, if it falls, there is a 40% chance the bottle breaks. So roll a d10, on a 4 or lower, it breaks. And that is basically the cave fisher. Like I said, the way it works is it shoots out this, basically like the liquor from Resident Evil, which is appropriate because me and my buddy were playing Resident Evil lately. Although these guys are not blind as far as I know. So, yeah, a pretty tough monster in a sectioned off area with some pretty good loot. I mean, you get a lot of rations, a minimum of 1 day's rations per person, some pretty decent loot from the cave fisher. And also, I mean, you know, again, it's always depending on how clever the players are. But maybe they could harvest some pretty good materials. Like, these things have big claws. You could probably eat them, you know, make a giant crab broil, I suppose. Although it's more so, like, insect-like, obviously. I imagine its filament is quite good as an adhesive, just as mimics are. Maybe not as good as a mimic, but a lot more of it. Or, maybe someone gets really, really lucky with some animal handling checks and just does really well. And yeah, that's basically our room for today. If you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, so that way it appears in your recommendations more often. Or just come back tomorrow. These videos happen every day. So yeah, thanks for watching and or listening, and I apologize for the poor quality. It's not going to improve.